Hey now, welcome PASW staff, clients, and friends joining us for Film Scoring Monday. This is, when we look at a movie and I take out the score, and you guys go to YouTube or Spotify and find the best possible choice for the scene. If you haven't done it, please do it. There's a prize involved monthly, and you guys, just get better and better. This is such a fun thing to do. I didn't think it would be so much fun. We've been doing this about a year now, so I'm just so proud of your guys' development and all of that stuff. So today we're going to look at a really special movie that came out a few years ago that I had never seen up until yesterday, actually. And then I was like, this could be, there's some beautiful scenes in it, and one in particular that we're going to look at and we're going to score, and it's just going to be, it should be a lot of fun. So today we're going to look at the 2012 adventure drama film, Life of Pi. Life of Pi is based on a 2001 novel by Yann Martel of the same name. And it's kind of this connection between this young boy, this young man, 16-year-old, and a Bengal tiger who survive a shipwreck. So we'll look at the plot and we'll get into it, and it's just fantastic. Directed by Ang Lee. Ang Lee's very famous. He's born in 1954, 66 right now, so very famous Taiwanese film director, producer, screenwriter. His early movies, Eat, Drink, Man, Woman, and The Wedding Banquet, those were great. And then he really made a splash with his first English language film, Sense and Sensibility, which is a classic, in 1995. And he got a lot of critical acclaim for that movie. Great version of that. Also did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon the year before, 2000. That was a huge superhero blockbuster film. He did The Hulk. He also did Brokeback Mountain. Just a great director. Has been all over different genres of movie making, and he really does such a great job in this movie. The budget was $120 million, a big budget, but it made about $609 million after it came out. So it was, and it was nominated at the 85th Academy Awards, nominated for a bunch, 11 nominations. It won 4, including Ang Lee's for his direction in this film. Let's go over that. You want to see it? So the ocean, most of the movie takes place on a boat, really, with just this tiger and this boy. So the ocean scenes were filmed at this giant wave tank built by this crew in this just abandoned airport lot. Tank's known as the world's largest self-generating wave tank. It looks so realistic. So it had a capacity of 1.7 million gallons. And so let's go from the Santa Monica Pier, because we were Thursday taking a look at LA history and looking at the pier, and let's go to central Taiwan, where this tank was filmed. So what's the plot? It starts with a family, and they decide, and they own this zoo, and they decide to move to Canada and sell the animals, because the animals are worth a lot. So that'll help them. Because of political upheaval there where they're living, they decide to sail to Canada, and there's this horrible shipwreck, and so the main character is named Pi. So that's the Life of Pi, and Pi is the only human survivor. So there's horrible shipwreck happens on the night and kills everybody, and all these animals are in the ocean, and it's a very magical. There's a lot of surrealism in it too. and Pi kind of is alone. I mean, his whole family went under along with other people on the ship and all the other animals. It's very sad. And he thinks he's alone on this lifeboat. But actually, the tiger, Richard Parker, that's the tiger's name, is surviving as well. So the two of them, it sounds like a Disney movie, but it's really not. It's really pretty believable and very heartfelt without being too sappy. He decides to sort of figure out a way for them to both cohabitate on this thing. He knows the tiger would kill him in a second, and his dad, he had an earlier incident where his dad told him, about all of these animals, including Richard Parker, saying that, you're not friends with this tiger. They can't be friends. The tiger will kill you. So he knows when he's on this boat with this tiger, he's not going to befriend it at first. Most of it, the tiger kind of takes place of the whole lifeboat, and he's kind of away from it because, you're living with a wild beast, a cute beast, but it's a wild beast. The tiger, as we learned, is even though he's this monster, he did save Pi's life by killing the hyena that was going to kill Pi. But he knows that, he can't, there's not really any trust that he can have. But he learns to sort of train the tiger by catching fish. And it's such a magical adventure story that is so cool. And of course, as we're seeing all this, visual effects in this are just amazing. They did use a real tiger in some shots, especially, but never when they were both on the same boat. That was CGI, but it's really hard to tell when the real tiger is being used because it's so realistic. So the composer of this is Michael Dana, Canadian composer, did a lot of scores. One best score for this movie. Also has a brother, Jeff Dana, who's a composer, and but Michael studied composition at University of Toronto, and did a lot of other Ang Lee films, The Ice Storm, and the music in this is very lovely, very cool. We're going to score a very magical scene that happens because, as we know, he lost his whole family in this shipwreck and all of these animals as well, except for the tiger. So it's this very magical, surreal scene, If you don't like underwater, maybe you shouldn't watch it. But the movie's PG, so it's nothing too violent. But it does take us underwater. So we're going to look at, this is when the tiger's looking up at the stars, and Pi is, he's gone weeks and months. He's trying to just maintain sanity and survival. That's his goal right now, because he's left adrift, obviously, with this monster beast who he has to kind of rely on, and they rely on each other, because he does, the tiger's used to eating all these, 5 kilos of meat a day, and now he's got to figure out how how do I feed him so he doesn't eat me, of course. So it's this very magical starlit scene, and let's take a look at it. So it's kind of dreamlike, of course, because we're going underwater. You're seeing all these beautiful colors, and then we see that the lady there is his mom, and then you see the ship at the bottom. So it's dreamlike, it's surreal, it's magical, it's a beautiful scene, and this is the one I really and when if you go back and look at it, you'll notice that there's the emotion in the music really rises when you see the mother's face. Maybe we can find a moment when she arrives in that you can find some music that really intensifies that, because it's obviously his mother was so close to him and stuff. So let's take a look at the scene just without any music. So visually, just beautiful, right? So come up with something that would be magical, surreal. It's a little scary, of course, but it's emotional because we see his mother, we see the ship, we see, you know, everybody. Not only his family and the animals died, but other people, the cook on the ship, they all, you know. So it's very sad, but it's also, you know, just such a there's so many gorgeous scenes in it. I'm kind of at a loss of how to describe the movie because it's just one of those things you have to experience. A lot of symbolism, a lot of religious symbolism as well, and so come up with something, you know, to use your imagination. This is all just imagination. No lyrics, probably, right? Because that would distract from it. So something just very surreal, ethereal, kind of magical. It's kind of like our Get Out scene, only that was a little bit scarier. This is scary, but this is magical too. So I would say you stay more in the realm of magical surrealism rather than darkness, because although it is scary in the beginning, there's some hope, and this movie's a lot about hope and a lot about at the end when they interview him, because he does make it off to Mexico. They don't believe his story when he's telling the investigators what happened. How did the ship sink? And he tells them the story that we just watched, and they're like, you got to give us something better because we're just not buying any of this. So he makes up this other story to make it seem more believable to them. They're still not very impressed, and he says, well, choose whatever story you like the best then, and he tells the writer that's interviewing him throughout the movie as an older man now, the story that we've seen. So the movie is left to interpretation of whatever story you do want to believe, filled, just layered with so many beautiful things. So I love this movie, and I can't wait to see what you come up with for this scene. So it's going to be great. So get it to me by tomorrow, by Tuesday. We'll see it on Friday, and have a great week planned for you guys. So I'm very excited to get into some good music this week and some good LA stuff, and just, it's going to be great. Lloyd-erific and Bonnie-erific. And John-erific and Megan-erific too. But I'll stop myself. I'll just keep going on. Okay, love you, miss you, and see you tomorrow.